Hello students, in the previous lecture we have discussed about the weather. Now today we will be discussing the climate. So we are starting with another topic, that is climate. The average weather pattern taken over a long time is called the climate of that place. Or we can say that the average weather pattern taken over, say, about 25 years is called the climate of the place. The annual record of long-term average temperature and rainfall at a particular place is called the climate chart. So it gives an idea about the climate at a particular place during a specific period of the year. Now, the major factor which determines the climate of a place is called the latitude, which is an imaginary lines on the earth. Now, the various factors which affect or determine the climate are: first is altitude or height above sea level. So, climate also varies according to the altitude, that is, the height above sea level. The higher altitudes are cooler. Like you can give the example of mountainous regions like Himalayan regions. So there the temperature is low. Now the next factor is humidity. It also determines the climate of a place. Like Kerala have high humidity while Rajasthan have low humidity. Now next factor is distance. So distance from the sea. Climate of a place also varies according to the closeness of the sea. The places that are near the sea are moderate, means they are not too hot or not too cold. Like example you can give of Mumbai, then Chennai also. While the places that are away from the sea have extreme climates, that is, having very hot summer or very cold winters. Example you can give Delhi. So the climate of different parts of India, of different regions, is given in your book also. So the northern region of Himalaya has cold and moderately wet climate. Example Jammu and Kashmir. So next, plains have moderately hot and wet climate like Uttar Pradesh. Then south has very hot and wet climate, means Kerala. So Kerala has very hot and wet climate. Then Rajasthan is having hot and dry climate. Then Assam, or you can say that northeastern India, has wet climate and receives rain for a major part of the year. Now in these table, like in table 7.2, you are seeing here the information about the climate, and the region depicted here is Srinagar, or even the Jammu and Kashmir. So in the January month, the daily minimum temperature is -2.3, daily maximum temperature in January is 4.7, and the mean total rainfall is 57 mm. Like in February, it is -0.6 daily minimum temperature, then 7.8 daily maximum temperature, and mean total rainfall is 65. So this is about Kerala. This is table 7.3, which is showing the information of the climate of Kerala. So in this you are seeing here in the month of January, the daily minimum temperature is 22.2 and daily maximum temperature 31.5. Mean total rainfall is 23 millimeter. Then in February, the daily minimum temperature is 22.8, daily maximum temperature 31.9, and minimum mean total rainfall is 24 mm. So like this, of various months like January to December, the daily minimum, daily maximum temperature is shown here, and also the mean total rainfall. Now, next, we will start another topic, that is climate and adaptations. So, what is adaptation, first of all? How you can define adaptation? The ability of an organism to develop certain features which improve the chances of its survival in the environment in which they live is known as adaptation. Animals are adapted to survive in the conditions in which they live. Or, in other words, we can say that an adaptation is a trait of an organism that has been favored by natural selection. So, features and habits that help animals to adapt to their surroundings are a result of the process of evolution. So, adaptations are of three types. First is structural adaptation. So, the structural adaptation, it is an adaptation of special body parts of an organism, which helps it to survive in its natural habitat. Like some examples are there, like a shape of a body, like a fish which swims in water, has a streamlined body. Then you can also count the character like skin, then color, then body covering also. So this comes under the structural adaptation. Second adaptation is behavioral adaptation. So adaptations of special ways in a particular organism that helps it to survive in its natural habitat. Like it occurs in response to some external stimuli. So example is like frogs and bear, they hibernate in winters. So this is one example of behavioral adaptation. Then third adaptation is physiological adaptation. So adaptations of body systems present in an organism that allows it to perform the certain biochemical reactions. Like example you can give, warm-blooded animals are able to keep the constant body temperatures. So animals that live in very cold or hot climate must possess special features to protect themselves against extreme cold or heat. The features and habits that help an animal to adapt to their surroundings are a result of the process of evolution. So, according to their habitat, animals adapt themselves. So, these animals may be grouped as polar region and tropical rainforest animals. So, first is the polar regions. The polar regions, as the name suggests, are situated near the poles, that is, North Pole and South Pole. The countries that belong to the polar regions are like Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Alaska, Finland, and Siberian regions of Russia. Polar regions show extremely colder climate which is covered with snow and remain cold for most part of the year. In this region, the sun does not set for 6 months and even does not rise for other 6 months. The temperature goes down below minus 37 degrees Celsius during winters in polar regions. The ground remains frozen most of the year and water becomes available only during the short summer when snow melts. Mosses and short-lived flowering plants grow in these regions. Animals living in these regions are adapted in different ways to cope up with the conditions of temperature, light, and moisture, and also according to the availability of food in that region. Polar bears and penguins are the animals that live in polar regions. Besides these, whales, seals are the other animals which are also found in polar regions. Some fishes, fox, musk oxen, reindeer, and birds also live in the polar region. So, first of all, we will study the adaptations of polar bear. Like you are seeing the various characteristics of polar bear. Polar bear is a large and white bear that lives in the north polar region of the earth. The polar bear mainly feeds on fishes and seal and can survive in the extremely cold climate of polar regions due to the following adaptations. Now, what are the adaptations of, or what are the features of the polar bear? Now, you are seeing here the white fur is there on the body. So, their body is covered by a thick coat of white fur. It helps them to blend with their surrounding snow white background and cannot be noticed by their predators. Beneath the fur is a thick coat of fat also, which insulates the body from cold and keeps the bear warm. A polar bear is a good swimmer which has wide and large paws that help it to swim. These paws also help bear to walk on the snow easily. They have a strong sense of smell so that they can locate their prey easily. They also possess small ears to keep the body surface area to minimum and reduce the heat loss from the body. The thick layer of fat beneath the skin also stores food in winter when food is scarce. This stored food also helps the mother polar bear to survive in the winter when they undergo hibernation beneath the snow with their newborn cubs. So these features you have to learn, students. So approximately 9 or 10 features are given over here. So learn these features, adaptive features of this polar bear.